next week. All right, guys, let's get to this next game. It's Summit versus Good Morning to find out who's going to get one of the final 2 remaining spots in League Play of Europe RLCS Season 2. We got Leaf and Findable Carpet with the commentary. Take it away, guys.
What would the RLCS be without puns, really? Like, it's just not the same thing.
Better is what it would be.
We have 2 teams that are actually, I think, going to be very, very close in competition. You know, when I heard the roster that was going on against Good Morning there, it's just like, I'm like, these guys might actually be able to win this. Summit is looking strong.
Honestly, I think Summit might be coming in with a slightly more powerful roster, at least as far as experience goes. People might not know about Flarky. He's kind of been, he hasn't been as known or been as large teams, but he is an insanely good player.
So good.
Been on top 100 or top 100 rank in many playlists for a long time. I've actually been able to play with him, and I know a few other big names have played with him and really like him. Jesse, as we all know, from the Flying Dutchman.
Yep.
But Mike Rules, Bipod, Spoonie, we saw them play against Flipside Tactics and do really well.
Really like showing up too.
Spoonie caught a lot of people off guard. I think everyone, you know, we all kind of mentioned, like, I don't really know how he plays. He kept up well, kept the pace. He let Mike Rules and Bipod do their thing. Those guys have played together for a while. We know known each other. They're both veterans of the other game, the prequel to Rocket League. So I know those guys just know how each other play really well. And Mike Rules is Mike Rules. He's one of those guys, you don't really need to talk much about him. He's just kind of insane.
It's Mike Rules, man.
Yeah, it's Mike Rules.
But it is. But Summit, again, all 3 of these guys, Sebedem, Flarky, and Jesse, very, very strong players, and I'm sure they've got their practice in. I may have to side with my boy Lawler there and say that Summit may likely take this one. Very close, but may likely take this as Flarky looks to get the first goal in game number 1 of Summit versus Good Morning. And now the other way that ball goes, 7M doesn't like the direction and sends it right back down into Good Morning's end. They're going to have to try again to get another clear here. Bipod waiting patiently, does get control of it. Loses it though to Flarky. Jesse and Flarky looking to just create some pressure here and see if they can slowly find an opening in that Good Morning net and sink one in early here, but a little bit too hard of a pass there. They're going to have to try again, but slowly but surely they're just chipping away at the defense here, and that's a shot. Flarky takes it away. That potentially was in. I don't know from my angle, but it wasn't after that touch.
No, that most definitely was in. I think Flarky was trying to retreat, going across the net, caught himself off, and now Spoonie's going to be able to get a counterattack goal. That is, Flarky must be beating himself up very close. I think he tried to jump to hopefully put it in, but Bipod out to Spoonie, who put it around Flarky, tried to read the original touch, but Spoonie coming in hot.
Flarky's one of those guys that I get teamed up with in solo queue. I got a shot on net.
Oh man, that is some shade.
No chill. But with only a minute passed, only 1 goal in, they have a chance to do it again. They had a really good position going on there. When they were at the midfield, they slowly, as I was saying, chipped away at the defense until they found that hole. They had an opportunity, and I'm sure they're going to try to do that again, as long as they don't allow momentum to build for Good Morning. Now, they have a chance here with Bipod completely out of the equation, and 3 attackers on the blue side. They almost had a chance there, but let's get broken up by Good Morning. Jesse to Sebedom. Sebedom with a wide shot. A little bit too late to that one. Flarky's going to come up and stop that one. Does actually go on target, but Mike Rules on a back rotation keeps that one out. Still 1-0 for Good Morning. We'll see if Summit can end up pushing that one back down the other end. Midfield play here. Both teams just trying to find some sort of grounding to create a good rotation on offense, but ping pong. This could be a shot here if Flarky can recorrect. Too wide on the shot. Sebedom patiently waiting. There it is, the mind game as he gets past 1, not 2 though. Jesse was in a good spot to get that redirect finally. Bipod pushes it out to Spoonie as he tries to create an offensive pressure, but Flarky shot on in front of the net. Jesse should be able to score this one, but Mike couldn't get it, and there is an evener for Summit.
Mike came so close to fixing his mistake. He tried to go up for this. Notice he had to go backwards. He tried to get underneath it, but he couldn't pinch it on the back wall, and came so close to fixing his own mistake. But Jesse able to put it in.
Incredible play, showing mechanics from Mike, but it just wasn't enough, as Jesse had all the time in the world to put that one in. Of course, he's not going to miss it. Now all tied up, and we're at that halfway point. Completely even match in game number 1. As Spoonie tries to get a play set up there. Sebedon with a steal off the roof. One guy to beat, but it's Mike Rules. Not an easy one to beat. Flarky bumped away from Mike as he continues forward. Now he's actually ready for an attack as well, but he gets bumped right back. little bit of retaliation coming out of Summit as they move in for a shot. Backboard pass stop, but in front of the slot again. Spoonie's gonna have to be in spot for that, and he is. Mike Rules with a clear down. They're gonna try to get a play started. Not too many scoring opportunities coming out for GM. This could be one here. Mike throws it a little bit far.
Good Morning has been patient, but they are waiting for good opportunities. They understand that the team they're going against is going to play fast and they're going to play harsh. So they're doing their best. They have a couple good physical plays. They're trying to mount opportunities, but they're also not trying to force anything.
Is that going to roll in? Almost. Mike Rules finally gets redemption for that other one and gets one off the sideboard. Drops down in front to push that one up for his teammates, and now they're actually switched on to attack as Blypod tries to roll it around. Jesse Sebedom in a good spot. Spoonie just being a nuisance. Can get it past to Mike. He doesn't, so Mike's going to have to move in instead. That pinch almost actually going on target. There's no defender. It may have actually been in, but there was. Summit keeps that one out. Still tied. 1:13, left in this match. We're still seeing even game potential overtime situation coming up here, but there is a lot of pressure coming out from GM at this moment to try to put it on, but good defense and quick action coming to the defense from Summit, stopping any of these plays from developing in the slot.
Good Morning just mounting enough pressure until hopefully an opportunity arises. The ball was in the corner, and all three players of Good Morning touched it twice each while it was still in the corner. They just kept coming in, getting in the way, bodying it 50-50, and trying to get it towards the net. But there were 6 touches in that corner, all from Good Morning. And they were just kind of keeping it up, just keeping it in their opponent's half, trying to make some sort of play.
Spoonie over to the corner. There's Bipod, but not the touch he wanted. Mike was ready for the pass. Would have been a great team play. 20 seconds left. Flarkey looking to make an advance now very quick. That's going to roll in, though. Flarkey is going to take it. They're up 2-1 now with 18 seconds left against Good Morning.
I think Spoonie felt just a little bit short on boost, thinking he had this safe. He did pick something up. Oh, no, he was just like a little bit late to activate it. I watched him picked up a pad just before that, and he went up for that jump a little bit too late to react. Should have been a kind of an easy save for Spoonie, but under the pressure, he just caved in.
16 seconds for another goal here for Good Morning if they want to take game number 1 or at least tie it up. Summit going to probably play very safe at this point. All they have to do is not let that ball go in the net, but it's looking like a Mike Sebedom with a clutch save to keep it out. Mike, soft shot saved by Sebedom, and that's going to be game number 1 thanks to Sebedom there. And Summit taking the first point.
Mike had a close opportunity. He probably could have waited just a little bit longer, tried to put it wide, but Sebedom, again, like we said, he's got great 1v1 skills. He tends to read players really, really well. He probably knew where Mike was going to shoot it. Maybe Mike tried to shoot it directly at him, hoping he would jump away from the ball in one of those kind of preemptive strikes. But close game, Summit coming out just enough with that second goal, and it kind of came on a mistake. It wasn't even really an outplay. It was
Flarkey
Spoonie
flying through, yeah.
Yeah, it was Spoonie not being able to get it for the save, even though he was in a prime position, just turned a little bit too late. Didn't use boost a little early enough. So we're looking at, I know, this probably could most potentially go to game 5.
I think it's very likely to go to game 5. Summit, though, very strong on offense. I mean, even from the shots, there are only 4 coming out from GM. It just shows how much they're on the back heel that whole game. They're going to have to break out a little bit more coming into the next games. Summit is a strong team, and this is exactly what we're talking about. They are not to be counted out. This isn't one of those ones where it's going to be a blowout. We know who's getting through. We don't at this point. As you said, game 5, very potential. And coming into game 2, Good Morning's going to have to get, well, they're going to want to get a game at least to make sure they're not in that awkward spot of potentially being kicked out from one game.
Yeah, Good Morning is, they're putting up a lot of good potential. Mike Rules seemed to be their grounding play. Last game, he had no goals and no assists, and he still had the most amount of points. He's getting a lot of good touches, a lot of good passes, centers, and clears, which is fine, though, because his teammates are doing a good job of following up. Sometimes you just have to have a good setter, a good placer, and Mike Rules is being that right now for his team.
Game number 2, Summit versus Good Morning. As these two teams are in the lower bracket, they're both fighting for their lives right now, or at least their opportunity to play in the league play of RLCS. Maybe not that dramatic, but it feels like it to them most likely, as someone is going home after this. First point going to Summit. Bipod trying to get that first early goal in game number 2. Not quite able to connect with the back of the net. It's going to be Jesse throwing that back down. Teammates are going to wait back. It looked like Mike Rules being a little bit of a nuisance up there. Just trying to get in the way of boost, steal, and bump, and it looks like it works because they are back on offense. Good job from him just getting in the way, giving Bipod teammates a chance to just move up and create some offensive pressure themselves.
We see Mike, like I said, just being quite a menace, chasing balls up, just getting in the way. Oh, Flarkey with a flick over to Jesse.
Beautiful play. As you said, a flick. Just looking absolutely gorgeous from Flarkey. He's coming out good this entire series.
He took his time. He was just watching that goal, and he's like, yeah, you're flat-footed. You're not going to get this. He flicked it perfectly over to Jesse. Jesse waiting for it, finding himself in a prime position to take the shot.
Yeah, absolutely incredible play. As you said, just waits and waits for that. We'll see if they can maintain that lead, though. Only minutes gone by. Lots of time for Good Mourning, but we saw first game went to Summit. They have the ability to keep this lead. Sebedam rolls that to the side. His teammates losing possession of that. Jesse slowly floating in. A bit of a feather there. Out to Flarkey. Going to be a goal opportunity. Very, very opportune bounce for Summit there.
That bounce went in Summit's favor by quite a large margin. Jesse went to go for that. Mike Rules trying to reach Jesse's touch. Jesse actually put it left, away from the net, to hit it into the corner to bounce that man, as opposed to touching the back wall, which I think is what Mike was expecting. Whether he meant to or not, it was a great game to play against Mike Rules, who's almost perfect at predicting the ball.
3:40, 2 goals down. Very early lead now for Summit, but almost getting that last goal answered back was Mike Rules. Didn't quite put it in the back of the net. They try to figure out a situation here. Mike Rules moving all over that field. He's just absolutely all over that field. No matter what, he's doing something. He's never just useless, and it shows how good he is. Shot there from Flarkey, gonna roll over it. Bipod feels backflip, maybe try to get up and boost that one, but fortunately, it just goes right over him.
He had to get that risky save above the net. He didn't have much of a position, so he had to get the touch. He might have been better off pushing it to the other corner since it was closer to him, but from the position he had, he couldn't take too many options. He put it off to the side, but sadly, when Flarkey noticed that Bipod was just kind of settling on the ground, he was able to pop it over him.
Sebedam missed that one, so Bipod is going to pick up possession. Mike Spooney following close behind there as they put one on target. He doesn't need them. Bipod's like, I got this, guys. Trust.
Bipod gets the hard clear off of kickoff. Everyone finding themselves just a little bit too far. Jesse trying to put pressure, and Flarkey trying to retreat and grab some boost from the side corner. Bipod noticing his opportunity.
That's 1 goal down out of the 3 they need to be able to even this one up. As long as they don't give up anymore, they should be fine. Good call from Mike there. Psyching out Sebedam, gets the boost and possession of the ball to put it forward, just showing how good he is. And I'm still loving these traffic cones. Pick up from Mike Rules there as he squeezes it by. I mean,
that went off at Jesse.
It's Mike Rules, so he calculated that, right? That was insane.
Mike Rules went to go take this 50-50 against Sebedam, and it actually kind of goes neutrally to the right, but Jesse finds himself in a very bad position for that. Not much to expect there, to be honest. Jesse probably shouldn't have been there because Sebedam was coming up, but at the same time, you definitely cannot expect yourself to be a block of just reflection into your own net.
Well, absolutely, but you got to be aware that can happen. Mike playing it slow, the pass up to Bipod. What a play from them. That was looking good. Reminiscent from another team that we know, but it does miss, and that's going to be another chance for them to set something up here. Only 1 goal down now. 2.5 minutes left. Looks like GM still can pull this back. Mike Rules is starting to go off. He's realizing he's got to make some moves now if they want to be able to pull away with a win in this series. Because Summit ain't no pushovers. They are working hard. As Alex said, it's quite the mountain for GM to climb at this point. We'll see if they can get this goal back. 2 minutes left. Lots of time for 1 goal. Bipod trying to set something up. Good demo from Spooney there. That's going to be a scoring opportunity, and he waits, and he gets the backside on it. Great, absolutely great play from Spooney.
Yeah, demoing that goalie in the last opportunity, Justin, he's actually going to be able to swoop around for that, and it was actually a missed shot from Bipod. Bipod took it a little bit too wide.
It was a pass.
It was a great pass from Bipod to his teammate Spooney, who he just wanted to give him a few more points.
You're right. Miss, but
he's like, Spooney, me and Mike both have goals. Let's give you one too.
You need one.
Everybody gets a goal.
It's a team effort
for everyone.
That's what Rocket League's all about. Bipod sending that one up to Spooney again. They're going to try to move this one forward, and it looks like they're kind of working their own thing now while Mike does his thing on the field by himself, but it's helping his team. Whatever he's doing, it's helping them out. Bipod to Spooney. Spooney trying to get that touch off his roof, but Flarkey is going to intercept that one. There's Mike Rules finally on the screen, showing up to get a pass out, but it gets taken back by Summit. 3-3 now, approaching that final minute of gameplay. that 3-0 difference. Already caught up by GM. They're doing a very good job of pulling this one back. They've stepped up the pace. Spoonie with a miss there, though. Bipod is going to carry it forward. Sebadom, Jesse getting in each other's tracks there a little bit. We finally managed to break out 2 defenders, 3-on-2 scoring situation for Sebadom. Bipod is going to be able to get up in time for that final minute of gameplay here. And it is very close between these two teams.
They are definitely getting a little bit desperate. They do not want to put this into overtime. Nobody likes dealing with that extra little bit of pressure.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, sometimes if you're down, that kickoff in overtime can actually feel good because it resets your pace and momentum. Demo, Bipod and Flarkey giving a little bit of a pressure relief, but Sebadom's not going to let them have any of that as he pulls in with an air dribble almost in. Jesse tries to finish that off. 30 seconds left. They are starting to make some moves, but they got to make sure that they're not overcommitting and giving any clear opportunities for Good Mourning to be able to break away and get an open net goal. 10 seconds left. We're looking at a potential overtime here unless a last-second clutch goal is going to come through. Jesse not going to let that happen in his own net, but Mike says, wait, let me try again. In the net, 3 of them set up off the corner. Spoonie in a good spot here, but Flarkey going to be up first. Probably going to try to drop this one down, as no one's going to want to get this. Spoonie's going to want to definitely let that one drop down.
Yeah, it's a good thing Spoonie didn't touch that, or his team probably would have tackled him to the ground. That was a very scary situation. It was heading pretty close to net. If anyone had actually touched that, it would have given a great opportunity.
Bipod trying to get that read. Flarkey as he gets that clear out. Spoonie losing that 50-50 to Sebadom. We are in overtime in game number 2. Nothing's do or die at this point, but you definitely don't want to be giving up a game, especially when it's only 1 goal away. All wits at hand here as they try their best to figure out the best situation to put the ball in each other's net. 30 seconds in, Spoonie and Mike moving up here. Pass out to nobody. Sebadom steals that away. Flarkey was ready for a play to develop, but it doesn't. Bipod getting there and bothering Jesse. But that does give Flarkey a chance to move past 1, 2. Almost in the net. Sebadom a little bit too late to that. Does get one out by the defense on GM as they try to move that forward. Good moves from both teams. Summit looking very confident, though, that they can get this pressure and a goal on every time they leave their own end.
Both teams trying to play smart. When they notice they don't have control anymore, they're kind of leaving it alone. Michael's going to try and get a good center. Almost an opportunity.
Not quite, though. We head further and further into overtime. Jesse with a shot off the backboard. No follow-up there, but Sebadom a little bit too high. Flarkey doing his best in front of that. That's a scoring opportunity for Jesse. A flick. Someone else needs to put some pressure on this one. Ooh. Mike rolls out of spot. Still a chance. What is going on? Oh, my goodness. I think everybody just so antsy on that one that they all missed, and it didn't go in still in overtime now.
Jesse, who had a shot opportunity, popped it up, which was actually a much better option than trying to take a super slow shot. It kept it out of reach of a boostless Good Mourning defender, but then no one came up to follow through, and they all just kind of sat and watched it just slowly roll away from post.
You gotta recognize those opportunities when there is one person in net and you can just rush in there, even with no boost, and just touch it in. You have to be there. But no one was, and we're still sitting at a 2-minute overtime. 3-3, game number 2 between these two teams, and we said it before, we're likely to see a game number 5 out of these two teams, and the push through, Mike Rule's gonna shove it in, and there it is, 4-3, Good Mourning taking game number 2.
Mike Rule's powering through, and just so that everyone knows, this is the first time in the RLCS any team has come down from being 3 goals down.
Oh, there we go, yes!
It finally happened. We heard Lawler talk about it earlier. They were 3 goals down in the game and came back to win it. The first team to ever pull this off in the RLCS. Good Mourning just refusing to lie down and take the loss.
Incredible. Like, as you said, down 3 goals. They pull back eventually in a 2-minute. Took them a while, 2-minute overtime, but they eventually took a point in the series. And that's just an incredible stat, too. I can't believe Rawlings and Wave went through all the paperwork for that. That's just nuts.
I'm glad they did it.
I'm glad, because now we get to sound cool saying it, right?
That's very true. But we see a good fight come out of both of these teams. Flarkey, Jesse, Sebadom, I really like how these guys play. I've watched them all when they were separate as individuals, so seeing them all come together is actually pretty cool for me to watch. But Good Mourning, they really are coming up strong. We're seeing a lot of just really good plays. Mike's setting up a lot of stuff for his teammates, though. A whole lot of stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, well, that's what I really wanted to point out was Good Mourning is Mike's just like a key component on that team. Like there's times he's just not on screen. I don't know what he's doing, but I know whatever he's doing, it's useful. He's out there. He knows what he's doing on the field. He's either bumping someone, he's boost starving, but he's out there doing something off screen. If you can't see him on auto cam, he's being useful. And at that point, Spoonie and Bipod are just setting up plays for themselves to move on to offense, and then Mike Rules is going to come in.
Yeah, he's being very selfless with a lot of his plays. He's only taking shots when he knows for a fact he has them. But if not, he's trying to set his teammates up for stuff, which is perfect. Because we've seen Spoonie pull off a lot of really good things. And Bipod, we all know he's consistent as well.
Yeah.
So all they really have to do is just set things up for his, which is really good for him. He's kind of being just that overall, almost like the team mom, which is here you go. I don't have something, but I'm going to give something to you and give you a shot opportunity.
Yeah.
But when he does see it, when he will come in and strike.
No, it's great watching them. And again, it ended up working out, getting them a point. So I'm glad to see that we're heading into Game 3, and we're tied up on the scoreboard. This one, again, not do or die, but as I said, you do not want to give up any of that complacency and give any space to your opponents to let them put you in the situation where it's do or die. I want to see a Game 5 from these two teams.
Jesse with the side flip, he actually had an opportunity at an open net, but he got a little bit too antsy when he jumped up. He side flipped his car instead of getting the second jump.
Flarkey going to keep the pressure on, though. Pass out to Jesse. This is a chance. He's going to pass it back down to Flarkey. Sebadom rushing in there. Jesse, good idea to get out, knowing that he had two teammates way committed on offense. Be a bad situation if they're all there. Flarkey missing out on that touch. Jesse was waiting, but now he's going to be out of position. Reset to defense. They are going as Mike Rules and Spoonie move up for an attack. Bipod taking position there. Mike Rules, a shot on net. Flarkey pushing that one out. Jesse taking a demo on Spoonie is going to allow them to move out, but Spoonie sends it right back after getting reset. He wanted that ball back on attack. Was hoping for a goal, but that's not going to happen. The defense from Summit shutting out any advances on that side from Good Morning. The clears and then the send right back. Ping pong, 0-0 still. Over a minute of gameplay in.
Both teams slamming it into each other's half, just trying to gain control. You essentially want to just send it into the opponent's half and then try and keep it there. Then you gather up your senses and try and get some shots, unless you're doing a counterplay opportunity. Right now they're trying to play a little bit safe. They are 1-1 in the series. Good Morning coming back from a crazy loss, actually able to squeeze through and come out victorious in the second game. So they're going to hopefully try and bring that momentum into this game.
Still, though, 0-0. Sebadom, good touch on that one to send that out for a teammate. Jesse taking advantage with a shot, but a save on the goal line by Spoonies. Mike Rules sending that out to help clear it, but just a little trouble at midfield here as Bipod. It's a little bit of a whiff. Sebadom, Flarkey ready for another attack. Jesse pulling up the rear. That's going to be his chance to flick it over. A miss from Spoonie. It's going to be a shot on net. Jesse to follow through, and that's going to be the first goal of game number 3.
Took almost half a game, which is a little bit longer than we've seen so far, but Jesse getting that first gentle touch, following up second. Mike Rules trying to take that on the back wall, but a little slow rotation leaves the net open.
There it is. We've seen a lot of goals scored by both these teams, and one goal is no indication of how the rest of this match is going to go. Anything can happen in Rocket League, and especially between two teams this caliber, evenly matched. Backboard pass. Spoonie a little bit too ambitious on that one. Then you got Flark and Sebadom a chance. Mike Rules coming in hard. That's still going to push through. Mike Rules missing the demo because of that jump.
This has to be tough. Who do you read? Flarkey's under the ball. Sebadom's to the left. Mike Rules tried to go for the touch. That goalie was like, I don't know what to do. What do you want from me? Sadly, Mike Rules thought he was going to try and either get the demo or take the ball off of him, but it was just at the moment the ball got popped. He wasn't able to interfere with the play.
It's tough when you have two people in full control of the ball going on to offense with like one person in net. As you said, it's so tough to figure out what to do. And there's going to be another goal as a result of it. Mike Rules getting in the way of that shot from Jesse. And it looks like Summit probably going to play a little less ambitious. They're going to make sure they can get the shots and the plays they want, but there's one. Exactly, the long shot from the wall. Flarkey getting a nice wall.
Flarkey off the wall, touches it up, and then follows up his own touch. Notice how he tries to hit it underneath the ball to keep its height. He doesn't just smack it out, but he actually follows up underneath it, gets the accuracy. First he aims towards the net, then he makes sure he has the height, gets it right at the target.
Absolutely right, and that's something to mention too to the players not at this level. These guys all know it, but a lot of players overshoot the balls off the wall. Remember, your momentum carries. This is physics. You got to make sure you're in the right spot when you jump, and he did to get that goal. 3-0, 2 minutes left as they look to take game number 3. As GM rolls that around the corner, a bump from Mike Rules on Flarkey. Doesn't really do too much, but buy a little bit more time for his defense. There is almost a chance for Flarkey. Mike moving quick around this field. He is always in the play at this point, knowing that he's got to help set the pace up since they're down 3 goals in front of the net. A touch to the side. Flarkey, Jesse just waiting like sharks to put one on net, and there's going to be one off the crossbar. Not in. Sebedom now to put the pressure in. Mike Rules finally getting a touch and clear to midfield, but Flarkey up very quick with a nice solid touch to send that right back into the box, forcing that defense to keep having to reset on GM's side out front of the net. That could bounce down for a shot. Mike reads it very well. Flarkey, the pass to Jesse. The Jesse down. No. Sebedem quickly gets out of there, seeing the bipod was ready.
Good Morning trying to play that tight defensive game until they can get a good counterattack, but they're trying to play it safe. Already 3 goals down. I don't know if they can break the record twice.
Yeah.
Especially with only 1 minute
With only
left.
1 minute. Well, I mean, there's the start. You started the curse.
As soon as I start talking about it, Spoonie says, shut up, carpet. I don't want to hear any of your nonsense. But Jesse tries to go for the touch, actually misses it, which forces the defender on the ground to try and make a quick touch, but Spoonie reads it first.
All we have to do is just keep talking about how they're not going to do it, and they'll do it. 1 goal towards that 3-goal comeback. We've seen them do it before. 2 goals in a minute is a lot better than 3. Spoonie with another one on target. Mike Rule's going to try to set something up here. He's probably going to catch it to the side. Flarkey, though, putting some pressure on Spoonie. Back down to the midfield. Bipod last defender. Scary spot as Flarkey was moving in. Could have been a bad situation. 30 seconds left. Now for them to get 2 goals. They are making some moves, but can't really get past that midfield. Sebedom with a carry down the field. Spoonie with a pass out. Could have been a bad situation. Shot on target from Mike. What a solid shot and a finish from Bipod. How did he even get that angle?
2 incredible shots. Mike Rules with his first redirect over to target. Jesse pops it up. Flarkey goes to follow, but Bipod somehow getting this angle and the power. 78 kilometers per hour from such a wild angle.
Such a good play, and now they're only 1 goal away from pulling this back again. That's 15 seconds, and it's very likely they can do it. They're already on the attack. A flick up for Bipod to Mike Rules. I know he likes that. Takes a shot. Couldn't quite put it in. Spoonie has to play patient and play this bounce right, otherwise it could be over. Overconfidence now, you have to do it. Nail in the coffin, 4-2. 1 second left, no coming back from this, and at such a hard spot, especially where Spoonie was. It's so hard to read where that bounce is going to go, but you have to play aggressive.
They had no choice.
Option.
1 goal down, only a few seconds left. Got to go for it. Spoonie hesitated a little bit too much on that touch. Let a player from Summit actually beat him to it. Pinched it right around him. It's, an unfortunate situation, but still a shot.
Still a shot. It is not over. Summit just won that one. They're up 2-1 in the series. Is a best of 5. The first one to get 3 wins is going to secure themselves a spot in that league play, and it's looking like Summit is on a very good track to do so.
I talked a little bit about the power of Flarkey. He got a hat trick that game. Flarkey with 3 goals, Jesse with 1. Flarkey has been a phenomenal striker in this series so far. Definitely trying to put some good pressure on. We see a lot more pressure from Summit overall, but Good Morning's trying to make a little bit more of the smart plays. They understand it's going to be hard for them to beat the pressure of this team. 3 very solid players, so they're trying to play more of the smart game. They're kind of sitting on defense, waiting for a good opportunity, and then when they can catch somebody off guard, they're trying to get a couple of crazy shots. As you saw, the first redirect from Mike Rules, somehow putting on target, forcing Jesse out, and then when Flarkey tried to follow it out, thinking he had the comfort, my bipod got up so fast and got the most wild angle from way up top.
Had enough power on it, too, to put that on target. Usually those just flop to the ground, but he put it on target. Enough of a lob and an angle that it dropped right in. Great shot from him. Great play from the team overall. I mean, they show that they can do it. The issue is, I think, when they're playing at a safe play style, they're just not able to break into the scoring opportunity as much as possible. When they overcommit and they put hard on pressure, they can, but you don't want to be doing that all game.
Correct,
then you leave your net open.
I mean, that's the big thing, is you might want to play a little bit safe, but you definitely can't score from your own half. So eventually, you're going to have to, breach that half line and try and make opportunities, which they're doing quite well. They're just trying to not overdo it.
Absolutely. Well, game number 4 is going to let us know if Summit is going to have that league play spot right after this game, if Good Morning is going home, or if Good Morning is going to bring it to a game number 5. Early on, both teams probably going to try to figure each other out. No opportunities here for an early goal as they figure out their plays and get their footing, their wheels on the ground. Soft shot is actually going to roll in. Okay.
I thought it wasn't going to go in. He went to go up for it. We were actually on cam with Bipod. He went to go up for it and touched it with his wheels a little more than he thought. It looked like he wanted to get the front corner of his car. But Sebadom actually got faked out by the weak shot. He was prepared for the better shot. So he backflipped too soon and just rolled on by.
I mean, intentional mind games. We've seen Bipod do that so much now. Great passes, you know, the mind Sebadom trying his best to keep those 3 attackers away from their box. Does a good enough job while his teammates get set up for an attack. Sebadom way wide on that. Flarkey out of position, so Mike and Bipod moving up. Spoony, the third in on the wide side there, expecting a pass. Is going to have to move back and just play it slow. Very smart from him, knowing his teammates are nowhere near back to make a play in case he loses control. They're finally set up. Sebadom tried to get a soft touch into that top corner. Would have been a great shot had he connected, but he didn't. And we're still only sitting at a 1-0 lead for GM. Summit trying to even this one up quick here. It's better to have it tied up and sit in a deficit for too long. So you start to get in your own head. Sebadom with a shot connected by Bipod towards that blue side. No team's getting real play started up, just pretty much straight on shots, getting stopped by the defense. That first play to happen will throw off someone. I'm sure it will end up in a goal, though. Mike rules with a long shot. Flarkey with control.
Good Morning's got this interesting habit of trying not to take it off the wall or hop off the wall if they don't have to. Ooh, I thought Spoony was actually going to get him with that.
Almost, but mind game read properly by Flarkey. Teammates possession. Spoony with a nice shot, forcing Sebadom up. Flarkey getting in the way of Mike as he forces his way in there, and we've seen some of those go in, so scary spot for Flarkey. But thankfully for him, it does stay out. And a save there, Bipod. Good save and read of where that shot was coming from. Very good read, otherwise could have been a goal and an evener for Summit. Some ping pong going on between these two teams. Bipod heading back, take someone out, but actually will resit him on defense, but could give them a couple extra seconds they need to put one on net here, and that's gonna roll in. If Flarkey can't get it, he does. Barely, but there's Bipod with the follow through, and that's why you make sure that goes in.
That was a great turnaround from Flarkey. We see a shot from the corner. Flarkey gets just around and actually flicks it out really well. But if Bipod wasn't coming from such a tight angle, he wouldn't have been able to put that into the side. Thankfully for Bipod, he was coming deep and swinging around the corner. But Flarkey, that was actually a very good save.
Now up 2-0. Halfway mark, 3-0, sorry. As we're at that halfway mark, Mike rules it's going to sink another one for his team as they try to secure their lead.
Let's see if Summit can try and come back from the 3-0. They can be the second team to do so. We can see in the same series, they have 2.5 minutes, still a lot of time. But right now, a lot of small mistakes and a lot of good touches from Good Morning has put them quite in the lead.
And we'll have a new stat. Only twice in one series have people come back from 3-0s. That people will have to beat in the future. It's like a mini game in Rocket League with RLCS. Sebadom and Jesse moving forward. Mike Rose with a long shot, potentially going to drop in if Flarkey doesn't get up. Released off the backboard. Bipod was there ready for that one. Mike Rose with another opportunity. He will back out. Spoony tried to set him up with something. Bipod boosted up. Misses out on a touch there. That gets sent back. Jesse touch out. Gives that to the wrong person though. Mike Rules is going to try to put it in and just force some moves out of Summit. Almost forced out an attack though. There's Mike with a follow-up. Spoony. Touch contest by Sebadom. Sebadom is going to win that one up to Jesse. There's a demo. It's going to go by Bipod. A bit more time to set up this play for Spoony. Preemptively up. Sebadom does get in the way of it. Intercepting the play. They're having difficulty breaking out and creating their own plays right now. As Good Morning having a very, very good time on offense and making sure they're shutting down any advances and counterattacks. Coming out of Summit. They're looking really good coming to the final minute 20 here. Up 3 goals.
Summit trying to get a lot of pressure, and they're actually doing a pretty good job. Jesse, Flarkey trying to get some good passing games. Sebadom just trying to pound that, and he was getting so prepared for that to not be saved.
There's a slow roller as they try to figure out what to do with it. All of them bundled up there. Pass out. Spoony tries to secure another one in. Mike trying to get that pinch shot, team pinch shot into the net to put a shot that's unsavable. They can't quite stop from Mike there. Keeps it to the side. Jesse trying to get a play started up. 43 seconds for 3 goals. Not looking too good. They're having difficulty breaking out of their own end at the moment. And it looks like Good Morning in a good spot to bring this to a game number 5 as we expected, which I can't complain about because these are some really, really good matches.
They really are. These teams are kind of battling each other almost head to head, kind of countering each other's tactics here and there. Good Morning overall really has showed up a lot more presence these last few games.
Oh, absolutely. Roller up front, 13 seconds left. I'm thinking Good Morning's probably going to be taking another game in this series and preventing Summit from taking that league play spot this game. It's not going to be over. There still is another game. Game number 5 we're going to be heading to as Good Morning takes number 4, bringing it to a 2-2 in the series.
They could do a reverse sweep.
They absolutely could do a
Summit
reverse
was
sweep.
2-0. They have to probably be feeling kind of upset at themselves. I mean, you were 1 game away from qualifying, and then Good Morning came back from being 3-0 down. 3-0 down, they came back, and then now they beat them 3-0 in this game.
Yeah, it's
this trend that's not going to be too good for Summit.
Especially if this is just a momentum boost now for Good Morning. If they're starting to really feel that shift forward for their team, this is not looking good for Summit. Summit has to stay in the right presence of mind and just make sure they don't let this get to them. You lost a few, so what? You were still up 2-0, and you still only have 1 more game to win.
Yeah, and I'm talking a lot about Good Morning mostly because it's a team that I haven't really seen gather. And like I said, I haven't seen Spoonie. I know he is, I believe, top 100 in 1v1s. He's a very good 1v1 player.
Yes, that's what I heard, yeah.
And you can tell, it shows. Whenever he gets out on the ground, he's actually popped a lot of balls around Flarky, Jesse, and Sebadom. But all 3 of those players, like I said, Flarky getting that hat trick last game, or no, 2 games ago. Sometime in the series.
He
got a hat trick. There's a lot of games in my head. I'm trying to remember all these goals. Jesse, Sebadom, they're supporting each other really, really well. But they just kind of fell a little quiet that game. Not a lot of really good strikes, not a good opportunities. They weren't being too creative with their passing plays.
You're right, and that's what I was noticing too, is they had so much difficulty just getting on their end and creating any opportunities on offense. They just got stuck. They could break out, but it was just doing anything after that point was the real problem, and I think a bit more of pressure and speed coming out of Good Morning may have been what they encountered. Game number 5 between these 2 teams, Summit and Good Morning. Ooh, first early goal almost coming out for Summit. One of these teams is going home after this match. One of these teams is getting into league play. This is absolute do or die. I love when it comes down to the wire like this. It'd be just a cherry on top if we hit an overtime between this. I'm sure both these teams wanting to avoid that. Sebadom trying to get that first goal in for their team early on in that first 30 seconds of gameplay. Flarky, Jesse ready to set something up. Sebadom is there, but a miss from Jesse. Going to give the defense on GM side a chance to break out. Good control from Spoonie. The pass to Mike Rules. He's going to leave that one for Flarky, though, as that goes towards the net and a finisher as the defense falters and Flarky takes advantage.
I want to know how Flarky read this. He pops it off the side. I guess he didn't expect that touch from Bipod, but either way, getting up high for that, coming from the side again, good angle. He didn't want to come at it head on because then he has to make sure he hits the ball on the right-hand side. It might have been a little weaker, so he swung wide, made sure he put the net in front of him so he could keep the power on the shot.
Well, and you're absolutely right. That's a risky situation. He expected the miss, and had it not missed, he would have been in their net out of the play for a bit. And that's just a very risky situation, but high reward paid off for a goal, and another one almost coming out. If Jesse can get that pinch into the net, but he doesn't win that 50-50. Sebadom going to send one towards Mike. Bipod, the only defenders here. If they can create a play, back pass, Spoonie there instead. Sebadom leaving that one for Jesse. Mike Rules with a long clear. Almost on target there. Flarky going to have to put it to the side. A flick there, but Spoonie steals it away in front of the net. Sebadom gets back just in time to make sure that they can keep a good, strong defense. Not able to break past that midfield, and let's hope for their sake they're not going to find themselves in that situation again. Otherwise, this could be GM's game, as he almost put one in, but just stopped out. Jesse manages to get a nose on that to the side.
Jesse rotating around at a perfect time, just in case something goes wrong, and that's some good team confidence. Just in case someone does get around your teammate, you're going to be there, and being able to trust that someone's behind you is a pretty ideal situation.
And it just allows you to go for things that you normally wouldn't. So absolutely, knowing your teammates are there for you is a good situation, but Flarky has a situation here. Contested out by Spoonie. Good aggression there on defense to make sure that you can get that one away from the slot. Midfield fumbling here from Summit. As they have to rotate back, Bipod just put a bit of pressure on until his teammates can get there. No play developing from them. Seeing this back and forth ping pong again that we see a lot of times when we have teams, they're evenly matched and just can't find any real control and start up any plays. Just try to get the clears as best they can. Jesse, though, with a chance. There he gets the touch right between two. Close sesame, open sesame. He gets right between them.
Jesse's showing this off. Flarky putting this out mid, knowing Jesse was going to be there. He traps that so well, just kills it right on the ground, and then stays right next to it. He's got any opportunity. He keeps control. Once he sees someone coming across, he can pop it up, he can pop it across, he can do nothing with it. He gave himself a lot of opportunities, which made that defender just kind of useless.
Option coverage is one of the most important skills, making sure you have every angle covered, or the most that you can have covered. And you're right, he had everything he wanted covered there, resulting in a goal. 2-0 lead for Summit right now, but we've definitely seen Good Mourning come back from a deficit, and I'm not expecting them to be ready and out to leave this match to Summit quite yet. So we hit final 2 minutes of gameplay. Attack from Mike Rules, Spoonie. In front of the net, Flarky just doing his best to cut off as many angles as possible. Scary spot here, Bipod to drop it in with the underside. There's a goal from them, only one down now. Minute 30 is a lot of time.
As you said, they closed quite a lot of gaps. Bipod getting up for this. Letting that bounce was the mistake. All they had to do was try and get underneath it, just change it up a bit, because Bipod had to jump really early for that prediction. Had that moved even half an inch, you probably wouldn't have been able to make the shot, but they let it bounce up and they weren't able to read the shot.
Sebedom with the play started up here. Jesse a little bit too late to that one. His teammates move out. There's Flarky moving in hard with a shot. Can he follow it up? Didn't want to waste his boost there. Mike Rules does push that one to the side. In front of the net, scary spot. Mike Rules, risky play there as Flarky was right on his tail. Putting that across your own net, but a play developing for them to get a couple touches into offense. 1 minute remaining. I can read. Only one goal down. A shot here from Mike Rules, stopped out by Sebedom. It's going to be back on offense for Summit. Here they go, but Bipod does get in the way there. As they try to get a play, 1 goal down. They need to start making some moves now. Mike Rules up with a shot. Bipod to follow this one through. Flarky intercepting that. Jesse waiting patiently. Defense a little bit wide. There's Bipod being a nuisance. Mike Rules only has 1 to beat with Spoonie here. They have a chance to put this one on target. A little bit wide. 24 seconds left. 1 goal down. This is it. Do or die. 1 goal separates them. We're going to see an insane amount of pressure coming up for them, especially from Mike. They just need to make sure they get the touches. Mike trying to leave that one for Bipod. Bipod in front of the net. That's going to be a little bit wide. Spoonie too far behind that one. A touch out from Summit as they try to clear this one desperately. 3 seconds left. If this touches the ground, we have GM moving forward onto offense. There it is. It touches the ground. And good night, good morning. It's Summit taking the win.
Summit clinches the second to last spot in group play. They advance. Congratulations to them, but good morning. Being down 2-0 in the series, able to come back, bring it to Game 5, coming back from a 0-3 deficit in one of the games even. It was so great to watch all these guys play. I mean, I've seen all of them play actually in separate locations, so to see them all come together in this kind of like awesome little all-star match, for me personally, it's just a treat.
Oh, it was honestly, I'm so glad that this team got together. Spoonie, Mike, and Bipod. Great seeing them play, and they actually did really well for, I'm sure, very little amount of practice that they got to do before the RLCS. Great showing from them. They got this far, 1 spot away. Last game, so close. Very good showing from them, and I'm sure they had fun. I sure as hope they had fun, but good showing from them, and congratulations to Summit. We're going to see them in the league play in the following weeks. But we're going to go over to the desk and see how excited they were about those matches.
Cool to see a little bit of history being made. Of course, the fun stat of the 0-3 comeback and taking the win, but a little bit bittersweet because, you know, there's quite a few fans of Mike Rules watching, and I'm sure a lot of people were pulling for Good Mourning to do well there, but unfortunately, they're going to have to wait till next season.
Yeah, they came up right to Game 5, and it was a 1-goal game, very close. But Summit, Jesse from the Flying Dutchman will be joining his teammate or his previous teammate Dogu moving in. So congratulations to them. But yes, what a close series.
Yeah, I mentioned that it was going to be a tough fight. They had the talent to do it and was able to get the prediction right for once this weekend. Felt pretty good, but yeah, very close match. They battled it out. Bipod with some unbelievable shots to keep them in it, and like we said, kind of making history with that 0-3 comeback.
Yeah.
Really good series.
Yeah, well, let's take another look at what happened. Here are the highlights from that matchup. A lot of pretty good shots and good plays all around.
Yeah, right from the beginning, Spoonie was making a statement, but even in game 1, though, Summit still was too strong.
Yeah, a couple misses, though, back on defense for the other side. Flarkey had a goal here where despite having no touches on it and 2 players ready to make a hit, it just squeaks past.
And that really seemed to be the theme for Good Mourning, is their defense was just a little too shaky. They let too many not fantastic shots go in. So, but they they left everything out on the pitch. You saw that, fighting for that overtime victory and just squeaking those wins in.
Yeah, that overtime was insane, but still, Flarkey, Seb trying to work it together, and then big shots back to back. I mean, they battled in for this, and Mike with that redirect, and then Bipod getting the most ridiculous angle afterwards.
Yeah, but then Bipod really had some big goals, and in game number 4 they were looking stellar. Only allowed 1 shot by Summit and 3 out them. But then in game 5 again, that was a shot that could have been blocked. There were the defense just needed to be a little bit tighter for Good Mourning. But Summit, they took them out. It went all the way to game 5. They deserve to be in the league.
Right, you can't count out those mistakes, but that's what makes a good team great, is they capitalize on the mistakes that they're given.
Honestly, one of my favorite series of the day, I think, going all the way to 5 games and a couple overtimes in there as well. Really good play all around from those 2 teams. But again, congratulations to Summit for getting that 7th spot in the EU Rocket League Championship Series Season 2 League play. Now, we have one more spot remaining, gentlemen, and it's going to come down to the final match of the day. It's going to be Saitons versus Red Eye, and one of those 2 teams will be the last team in RLCS Season 2 for Europe. So stay tuned. Last match coming up here in the Rocket League Championship Series Season 2. We'll be right back.